Cool. So I'm gonna show you how this looks. Let me open it up first. This tip calculator. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, cool. So this is the project, of course. And the tip calculator is here. Basically, the way this works is you enter an amount of, like, let's say you go to a restaurant and you get a check. Let's say your bill is 200. You went to some steakhouse or something. You want to give them, let's say, a 20% tip, and you want to split it. Let's say you went there with like 3 people. You want to split it between 3 people and put 3 here. As soon as I put 3 there, I can see that it says $80. So that means 200 plus the 20% tip divided by 3 is $80 that each person has to pay. So this is basically $240 divided by 3 is 80. But that's how the tip calculator works. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start and finish this tip calculator during this class. The rules are, like, I'm not gonna say anything, but we're gonna play it like Jeopardy style, or not Jeopardy. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you call, you can call me for like 5 times. You can ask me 5 questions, and y'all just figure out the rest by yourselves. So yeah, just be careful with what questions you ask. Anybody have any questions with the rules for this? And Rasul's gonna share his screen the whole time, and he's gonna be the one typing it out. So
we can only ask you 5 questions.
5 questions, and you just start completely from scratch. What I'm gonna do, yeah, just 5 questions. What I want everybody to do is just quickly just go to the, let me go to the course really quick. You can go to the course and you can download the starter code. The starter code is, and obviously the finish code is there, but just try not to look at the finish code when you're going through this. Let me see, tip calculator is here. The starter code is here in part 1. Download that. All of the code, let me just download it. I'm gonna go through this whole process. So it downloaded, something different. So it downloaded here. I'm opening up the zip, and then I'm gonna drop this into VS Code. All of the code goes inside of tipcalculator.js. So you're gonna start with a blank slate. Yeah. So those are the rules, and that's how you download everything. So whenever y'all get everything downloaded, y'all can start, and I'll be here to answer 5 questions.
Question 1. You said to go on to Google, the Google Drive, and get the.
No, it's inside the course. It's in the course, but let me drop it in the drive. I'm gonna just do it just for convenience. I'm gonna stop sharing for 2 seconds. All right, so I'm going to put it inside of class resources, and I'll create a folder. Actually, today is the 27th, so 2/27/22. And I'll drop the zip file directly in there. So you just, actually, I'll just drop, yeah, I'll drop the folder. Just drop the folder. So just download the folder from there. And that's the starter code. So inside of class resources and inside of 2/27/22. If anybody have trouble finding it, let me know. And when you do that, you can just right click this and press download. It'll download the whole folder for you. All right, I'll stop sharing. Rasul, you can share your screen. And whenever you get it downloaded, and then y'all can work on it as a class.
Isaiah.
Yeah,
Wait, how we get to the Google Drive thing again? Because I don't even be remembering.
let me drop the, I'm gonna drop it, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Um, it's gonna go directly to where you need to be. Let's see, copy link. There you go. Yeah. And I still have the tip calculator up also if y'all need me to like show y'all how that looks again. But literally all of the HTML and CSS is already there. Y'all just got to hook up the JavaScript and it's gonna fall right into place.
Ready.
All right, cool. Who does not have it downloaded? Does anybody need help getting it downloaded? The starter code. I dropped the Google Drive link in the chat.
Yeah, Isaiah, I need help downloading it. Do I share my screen?
Yeah. Are you on Google Drive?
Yeah.
All right. So you see that folder where it said no, you don't have to share the screen. The folder where it says dashboard 2. I want you to right click that folder.
All right, I right clicked it.
And you
I
should,
did.
yeah,
Download.
right. Down. It's going to download as a zip file. You just gotta double click it to extract it, to take it out. Does anybody else need help downloading it? I don't know if everybody else have it downloaded.
So after we install a file, like we just wait. We just wait until
Where's Rasul? Did he log off?
yeah, I think his computer messing up. I can ask.
Okay, nah, it's all good. We can let's see who I guess who wants to share the screen since Rasul's computers having issues. Just anybody, any volunteer.
I was waiting on somebody else, but if it takes too long, just run it.
Yeah, you can actually no, you just shared the screen today. let's
I
pick some.
did. That's what I'm saying. If it takes too long, we can just run it, or you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick somebody. How about this? I'm gonna pick somebody random, right? Let me do something real quick. Random.
That's the new app, a random name generator based on who all in the lobby.
Exactly. I was just gonna quote it myself real quick, but I'm sure somebody else did it before. Let me see. Actually, hold on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I would share mine, man, but I got so much stuff open, man. My shit running all slow, man. I'm embarrassed over here.
It's all good. Jay, you can just share yours. It's all good. I'm not even gonna go through the trouble to pick like a random whatever. You can share yours, Jay. And then yeah, we'll start from there. Y'all can do it as a class.
All right, cool. We in
Cool.
just for the sake of time. All right, so I need help, guys. What's up? Where do I start? Where do I start in my code? Cool. So it's already in there.
Hey Isaiah.
Yeah.
Hey, can you bring the app back up again so we can kind of see it again?
Yeah. Share my screen. All right. All right. So here's the app. It's this one here. Don't forget to tip. And the way it works again is you enter a number. I'm gonna say 100. That's how much it costs. And the tip, say 20%. The number of people, let's say there's 2 people here, and then it calculates to 60. And every time this number changes, it recalculates. So the more people, the less each person got to pay. The higher the price, the less. The more individual has to pay. We can even adjust the percentages. So all of this.
Basically, so we start off with a value, and that value is then then it's divided.
Multiply by the percentage, divided by the number of people.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, multiply by 1. Let me give you the equation. Is basically the cost, and I'll put it in the chat. The cost equals the total amount times 1 point whatever percentage you have. So if you're doing like 10%, you multiply by 1.10. The 0.10 being the 10%. I should give y'all this calculation. And
Yeah,
then
dog, give us this marathon early in the morning like this, bro. 7 o'clock on the West Coast, bro.
you divide by number of people. Yeah, my bad.
Nah, you good, man. Go ahead.
So this the thing. So yeah, and like if your percent was 20%, you do multiply by 1.2. So yeah, there's two ways to do this. Like you can either do it like this, or you can do it this way, where you can say total. You can say
I think I'm missing something. I don't see what you're typing.
times
Typing in the chat.
times the percentage. There's two ways to do this. So now I'm giving an example of how this looks, right? So let's say the total was 100. The percentage.
We can't see what you typing, fam.
Oh yes, yeah, you're right. I wasn't sharing the right way. Share this one. Okay, my bad. So there's two ways you can do this. Let me actually, I'm just gonna stick to the one way, just so we can keep it simple. So the cost, right? It's gonna equal the total times 1 point whatever percentage you have. So if it's 20%, you do 1.2. If it's 30%, you do 0.3. Your, whatever this number is, that number is the percent. And then you divide that by the number of people. So this is going to be the new total because it includes the percentage, and then you divide it by the number of people. So as an example, if we had if the total was 100, we can say the percentage. Let's say if the percentage was 20, right? They entered 20 into there, and then the number of people, let's say that was like 5, right? The way we can do this is we can say we can do a percent. We can say percentage. We can say this part here, this 1.0, let's put 1.02, right? This is going to be, shoot, maybe this is, I'm trying to think of the most simplest way to do this. This is
1 plus 1
yeah.
plus the
Right.
percentage
Right. I was gonna say 1 plus versus
divided by 100.
Right, exactly. So that's the fastest way to do it. So we'll do total equals we'll do cost equals total times P at this point, because P is 1 plus percentage divided by 100. And you divide that whole thing by number of people. I'm gonna throw this in the chat. I hope this is not too, I'm just gonna put all these numbers, make these all consistent. So total percentage, this is the, you get this from that div. I mean, not the div, the input box. You get that from the input box, you get this from the input box, and you get, you also get the number of people from the input box, and you use these numbers to calculate the cost this way. And that's the percentage, 1 plus whatever they entered here divided by 100. So what I would do is first, get all of the values that's inside of the input boxes, these boxes here. Once y'all are able to grab these values, then we'll figure out the percentage part. Yeah, and I'll throw this in the chat. Those are the numbers for that. And now that I'm seeing this, I'm realizing that there's some more information here that I didn't give y'all yet. So
That's a quick question.
yeah.
How do you do the smooth highlight, comment out everything? Because I Googled it and I did the control keys that they told us to do, and it don't work for me.
Yeah. So do you have a Mac or Windows?
Windows.
All right. So you do, I believe it's control /. So control and then +/.
Oh, okay. They had me. It was like Control MK or something. It was telling me online, and it was not working. And I was trying to keep up with the videos you was doing, but you was just moving so fast. I'm like, oh, I gotta do each line, comment each line out. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's how you do it. So yeah. There's something I didn't teach, and I'm just realizing it. So I'm gonna go to the HTML really quick, right? And I'm gonna go to this section. I'm literally just gonna find where it says this. It brought me right directly to the section. There are a few things here that we didn't learn about. Now there's this key up here. There's a few attributes. I'm gonna put some of this stuff to the next line so we can see this more clearly. But this is literally an input box, and it has a bunch of attributes on here. And I'm gonna go through like how these attributes work. So the very first thing I want to say is I'm not sure if we specifically went over the input box, but if you write input inside of the HTML, you get an input box. You literally just write input and you hit tab after that, and then it auto completes it for you. If I save that and go back here, refresh, I should see an input box here. This is the one I just now put here, this one. So it's literally just an input box. So now we know what an input box looks like. I'm gonna tell y'all about these attributes here. I forget exactly which lecture I talked about these. So I'm not sure if you already saw them. So on key up, anytime you see on anything, on key up, on change, you're gonna see an on click, on mouse over, on mouse leave. Anytime you see on and then something, what that's doing is basically an event that happens. Like something happens on the screen. That's what I mean by some event. On key up, it fires this function whenever we release the key on the keyboard. On change fires whenever there's a change inside of these input boxes. And I'm about to show y'all how that looks. I'm gonna just refresh to get this back to where it looked like before. So we have this on key up, right? I'm just gonna copy this function and I'm gonna paste that directly into tip calculator. And I'm gonna just do console log. I'm gonna just say on key up here.
I got a question.
Mhm.
So for the on, you said you was gonna see multiple things with on in front of. Is
Yeah.
that the only thing where you don't need to capitalize each letter after the first word?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is one of the cases. So these are if I type on, we can see a full list of these here. Yeah, and these are not camel case. So yeah, you don't have to capitalize. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on press and on invalid. There's a long list of these things. So and whenever you write these, you give it a function name. And this function has to be inside of one of your JavaScript files. And you have to call the function also here. That's how this setup is. So every time we do on key up or on change, it's going to fire this. Actually, let me separate this because I want y'all to see the difference between this. I'm gonna literally name this on key up like function, or I'll put this camel case just so we can separate it. So I'm naming this on key up. camel case. Every time we fire this on key up event, we're gonna fire this on key up function. Now let me go to the console really quick, and I'm also going to comment out this because I don't want to show y'all this part yet. We probably got to just delete that. I'm gonna delete that one. Only thing we have is on key up. I'm gonna refresh this, right? And if I go to this input box, because this one is the input box that we put that in. We go to the HTML, we can see it. This is the cost. This is the one for the cost, and we can see that the placeholder is there's a placeholder here. Shoot, why does it keep doing that? Of 00 dot, like this whole $sign 00.00. That's why we see that here inside of the input box. It's just a placeholder. But if I'm gonna press the letter G, right? And I'm holding the key right now. Now I'm gonna let the key go. After I let the key go, it fired that on key up. So anytime I click a key on my keyboard, when I let the key go, it fires the on key up event. It's an event that happens. Let me show you another one of these. It's an on key down, right? And I'm going to create an on key down function inside of this file, on key down. I'll do something similar. I'll just say on key down. So every time the on key down fires, it's gonna console log on key down. And that fires whenever I press a key on my keyboard. So I'm gonna refresh, and I'm gonna just type something in there. I'm gonna just type a few numbers. So every time I press a number, we see the on key down and the on key up fire. The on key down fired whenever I press the button, and whenever I release the button, the on key up fired. So with these event, they're called event handlers. With these event handlers, these on things here, we're able to pay attention to things that happen inside of the HTML. Right. So originally, what we were doing was we was typing.
I'm sorry, Isaiah. Can you go over there one more time, fam? So basically, like, you need both the on key up and down to get the stroke of the keyboard, right? You can't do it without both of them.
Right. Well, so you let me so you don't that's yeah, so you need
like what's the difference again? Explain the difference again between the one key up and one key down.
All right. I'm gonna refresh real quick, right?
Okay. Thank you, bro.
I'm gonna press and hold a number. Like the number 7 on my keyboard. Now I just pressed it down. It's not, I didn't release it yet. The only thing that's firing right now is this on key down because it knows I have it. If I release it, it does the on key up.
Got you.
Yeah. So what we can do, and there's a bunch of events like this. I'm gonna just show you another one just for demonstration. So I'm gonna do an on mouse over. On mouse over fires whenever you hover over something. So I'm gonna copy this, I'm gonna paste this over here.
So quick question.
Mhm.
Your string is supposed to be the exact same thing as your function name. I'm pretty sure you already said that, but
Yeah,
didn't catch it.
Yeah. I'm naming these the same just so we know which function fired. You're talking about the string.
Not that string. I'm talking about the string in the HTML.
Oh yeah. These
That's supposed to be the function name.
right, exactly.
Those
Those
are
are
using it in JavaScript.
right, exactly.
And then you define the function in JavaScript, and it invokes the function
Mhm.
over in the HTML
Right, exactly.
with the given event. Okay, cool. All right.
Right, exactly. So yeah. So if I hover over this, right, the moment my mouse goes over this, it fires that mouse over. I'm gonna leave it and then hover back over it and it fires it again. Every time I hover over this input box, it fires that on mouse over. And there's an on mouse leave that fires whenever you leave the input box. Like there's a bunch of things you can really get into detail with what somebody's doing on the website with all of these events.
I have a question.
Yeah. So you can have a okay. You can have an animation basically for when somebody puts. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, special.
You can go. It's okay.
Nah. I'm playing. Go ahead.
I just had a quick question for the on mouse over. Is that what you use when people like hover over something and they give you the definition, or it tells you what that hyperlink does, or that kind of thing?
Right, exactly. Like a tooltip, basically. Like when you hover over something, like this, you hover over information and something pops up. Yeah, just like tooltip.
The set
Yeah.
time out. What's the
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, use the on mouse over. Yeah, to answer your question, Duran, yeah, you can use those to fire animations or stuff like that whenever your mouse goes over something. So yeah, that's how some of this stuff works.
Yeah, I was gonna say like when you because you said mouse over.
Mhm.
You can mouse over something to pop up something, and then you can mouse leave to have something else fire when you leave that.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can get really creative with this stuff. So yeah. And like I said, there's a long list of these things. Most of these I have never even used before. On drag, and I have no clue what that is. On drag, I'm not sure. On double click, we double click something. The names they try to make them specific to what they're doing, but I haven't used half of these. So yeah.
One more question. The on mouse over, like, would you use that for like the mobile app when you like long press something? Like you know how you hold something down on your phone, would it be the on mouse over since it's mobile?
Yeah. So for mobile stuff, they normally have events, but they're different than the ones here. They may have like on hold or something like that. Now the browser don't have that, but if you would, I'm not even sure how you would even let me see. I feel like it has to be an event for it. Um, yeah, I don't really see any here, but it would be this exact same situation. And even if there's not an option here, there you can drop in like different JavaScript files from online to give you like additional functionality. Like if it's not available here, you can add it here by adding like a script tag or something like that. Like
Okay.
like one of these things. But yeah. But let me go back a little bit. Um, So the reason I'm showing y'all this, right, is because we have to use these on changes in the to solve we can use more than just on change. I mean not on. Let me go back even further. I don't think. Uh, is that it? Okay. So we have two. We have on key up and we have on change. Um, Let me just show y'all quickly. Did I already put on change here already? No, I didn't.
no?
We just quickly do
So you
on.
use the on change for your arrows. So when you're using your arrows to change the number up and down by incrementally, you use the on change to calculate the tip. But when you type it in yourself, then that's on key up.
Right, exactly. You basically caught on real quick. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. That's the only reason I put the on change for those arrows. So yeah, anytime anything changes in there, it's gonna put change. Exactly. So if I refresh, uh, put a number in here. change happened. So yeah. We got this error because we did the on key up, we fired the on key up event, and there was no calculate tip function anywhere. So calculate tip is not defined. That on key up fired this calculate tip. So we want to fire that same function whenever we key up or we change. So let me just define that here. So more of the story, y'all have to start by creating this on this tip calculator function within tip calculator. And every time we key up or we change, we're gonna fire this function. So whenever we fire this function is when we're supposed to do the calculation. Let me paste this in the chat. So what I would do is first start off with is getting all of the values that's inside of these input boxes. So I'm gonna stop sharing. I gotta grab my computer charger. I'll be right back. All right. Any questions on that before y'all? Wait, what time is it? It is. Yeah. Any questions on that before I give it back to y'all? Or you can share again. I'm Jay, and y'all can just start off from there. You can just straight throw that calculate tip function inside of tip calculator JS.
Okay. 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 All right, cool. So now we're gonna go, before I do that, let's do this. That way we can constantly. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. What to do, guys and girls? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do?
I can give you the first direction really quick. And this will count as one of my questions. The first thing I would do is get the values that's inside of the input boxes. So I would do maybe some research on how do you get the values of an input box.
Get the values of the input box.
Yeah, of the HTML input box.
I feel like I should be able to do document get element by what? No. Not query selector, because well, I guess I could use a query. Well, I could use a query selector or get element by ID, and then in this
start
case,
talking
it'll
in
be false.
document, Doug.
You said what's up? Type it in.
Just start typing in document. Let's see what pops up.
All right, bet. All right, cool. So what you wanna do with this? What you wanna do with this get element by ID? Do we want this to be something?
Nah, it would be get. It would be document dot. I think we got to research that part.
You want that to be something? That to be something. I guess this would be total. So this would be our total. Make sure.
So I see something that's saying get input value.
Call it cost. You said get input value.
Yeah.
Where? Wait, what? Which one?
For the
I think for the document dot get input value.
well,
Yeah.
so it's saying function, then it say get input value. I don't know if this you could do either or if you have to put it together. Um,
Ah,
it's
okay.
it say var, but I know we try to refrain from that, so maybe we need to use let instead. And then it says so probably let input value equals document dot get element by ID, and then well, I guess we gotta see what is called in the HTML so we can put it in the parentheses maybe.
Hold on. You
I might
can, I believe you can request to control, you can request control. What's up? What are we doing here? I missed it a little bit, I'm gonna lie. So, it's necessary. So, you're telling me to do what exactly?
Hold on, cause
Is
I'm
this
trying to
right so
find
far?
I'm trying to find the input what it's called in the HTML so that way when we put it in the function it'll do it correctly.
But I think what she was saying is that that document is document get dot get input instead of element by ID, I think.
Mm. So document
I
dot,
mean it's just a guess. So
let's spell it correctly.
Now I think that's right though. I think that's right though. It sounds right.
Get element.
I think she
I
said
mean,
get
get
input.
input.
oh, that's not an option on there. Yeah, it would have to be get element by ID.
Okay, no
But
worries.
if we do the get element by ID, then maybe the
The
parentheses
input
will
has
just
an
be the
ID.
input.
I mean, we'll still be getting the input because the input has an ID. The element is the input, and it has an ID of XYZ. So
Yeah, that's why I
if I
said
want
we
to
need to
target
find
this
out what it's
specific,
called, what it's called in HTML. So when we do call it in the JavaScript, it will do the right thing.
I'm actually gonna call it close, just because that feels better. Okay. So this is ID, right? This is the ID for this input. So if I get element by ID and use this input or use this ID, I should be referencing this input. All right, cool. Let's do, all right, let me do something right quick then. Let's see. Let's see.
I
Let's see
think
if
the
I can do
ID.
this.
So the input, remember he said the input is how you create a box on the screen. So I don't think that's the right ID to call in JavaScript, the get
Mhm.
element by ID. Um,
Well, technically the element is the input. That the input box is an element. And then my ID for that element is cost. So this div element has a class of flex. This paragraph element has a class of panel holder. It doesn't have an ID. This div has an ID of tip calculator. So if I, and this is only my thinking, I could be wrong. I could be right as well, but this is that element, as long as I call this ID, because this is a unique ID, so it's not like 12 of these, it's only just one. If I call this particular ID, then I'm going to most likely be referencing this particular input box, like this exact input box. And then if I want to change something within the input box, then it starts to get a little bit murky. But since I'm
Yeah, that's why I'm getting kind of murky too, because I'm thinking that I thought we was trying to change the actual what we actually got from the math problem, right? I thought that's what we was trying to change, right?
You don't need that let in front of cons.
oh yeah, my ass. Excuse me. Pardon me. I just wanted to see something right quick because I want to set up something right quick to see if what I set this to in order to see what is in here. Oh, I should still be able to
Don't the
just
console log need to be inside of the function?
typing too fast. I put it outside of the function because I want it to be called. I mean, I want it to activate. I don't want it to and I may be repeating myself. So let's go. All right, cool. Okay. I should make this a function, but whatever. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Just for shits and giggles. Nope, didn't work. All right. Oh. Oh, it did. Oh, return total. Huh. So it did do that. But I actually wanted to return the placeholder. So I don't know, guys. I'm lost. Where we at? Somebody save me.
Make sure you call the function. You on the right track though. I just want to say you definitely on the right track. Call the function,
You
yeah.
said make.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, he had to toss me a lifeline. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there you go. So yeah. So we call it, look, this the input. This what shows up. That input with the ID of cost, the class of blah, 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 blah. So yeah. So as y'all, just like I was saying, you can still use get element by ID and this, and then it will return this input. So I'm actually targeting this input for sure now. So, because I know that. Uh-oh. Okay. Because I know that. I can start again. Easy. Actually, let's not. It's a 3-letter word, but I'm gonna just be smart about that. Why not? Anybody lost? Anybody as lost as I am?
Yeah,
Anybody?
definitely.
Oh, and I gotta call.
I never used let that many times. Are you supposed to use const?
Yeah,
Well, the reason.
I would use const.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I was using let was because these are going to constantly change, but I guess I'm not going to redefine them within this function. So,
Right.
okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm not going to redefine cost. All right, cool. Say that. But okay, cool. Cost. Total number of people. Oh, I call this total. Did I call this total? Yeah. Yeah, my finger just want to hit the end for some reason. I don't know why. Actually, I'll just
right now.
define, take that. Okay, it's just to be a little more thorough. Percentage won't change. What do you believe in? And percentage. Oh. That's right though.
Look at something else real quick.
Okay, yeah. Tip. All right, cool. That's tip. That's the number of people. Uh-oh. Zoop. He gone. I'm just throwing these. I throw these things everywhere. Put them on everything. Uh-oh. All right. Anybody follow me? Anybody lost? Anybody got some suggestions? Anything? Save me here.
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong? I may be doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong?
Cost times P. People.
What am I doing wrong here, you guys? Nan. You don't know Nan. Oh, let's see.
Yeah.
Where's your done your
Nope.
where did you get
Nope.
the cons P from?
You said this is just a percentage calculator. So I'm calculating the percentage based on the tip amount. The tip amount is I'm literally turning a percent to a decimal. That's all this equation is doing. This equation literally just turns a percent to a decimal right here. This tip over 100. And then I'm adding a 1 because when you calculate percentages of a number when given a price, like you want to know how much extra you should pay or whatever the case is, it's always going to be 100% plus whatever extra percentage, because you got to add that percentage on. It's math. It's just math. So this P is literally just a tip. The way to calculate the tip using decimals instead of using percentages, because it's hard to work with percentages. When you're doing math, it's easy to work with decimals. But this is just math. This P is just math. The tip is a raw number, 15. It got the units percent to change that unit, the percent or the tip that has the units of percent to a number, a decimal number. You have to divide by 100, and then it's +1. Like I said, it's just the add-on. But
like we got to figure out a way to add the on click and the functions to whatever we return from the
keep repeating this.
from the function that we have that's gonna solve the problem for us. Because
Yeah.
because basically once somebody inputs the number, right, whatever that returns is what's gonna be affected by the functions that we're running.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes.
then I
Very
could probably use the inner text function. Yeah. Could I do that? Could I do that instead and change the placeholder? Right. If there was a way that I could target this placeholder right here, then I could change the inner text of the HTML placeholders to whatever string that I wanted to based on this. All right. Am I right? Am I right or am I wrong? Because I'm getting so right
You're
now
correct.
I'm pulling whatever numbers are in this element, right? I'm turning those into these variables here, but I'm pulling these numbers and then calculating this percentage and then calculating this total. Then I'm pushing out the total. So when I call a function, I should be doing all that. But I'm still pulling, I should be pulling placeholders. But when I logged it, I was pulling this whole freaking, you dig right here, this input.
Yes.
So I wonder how I target the, oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Is it targeting placeholder?
Yeah, so no, it's not even targeting specifically placeholder, and that's where my issue probably coming up at. That's why I'm getting at nan, that you don't know nan. Oh my God, don't do that. Flow the meter, yeah, get you out the way. Okay, here we go.
Go back.
Oh, what's up? Go ahead.
Go back to the HTML again. Let me get a chance.
Oh, the HTML
Mm-hmm.
right here.
Let me see.
All right, cool.
Oh, on the
So this
top
is
one. Oh, no, not the HTML. I'm sorry. Let me see. JavaScript. Fix the where you got const calculator tip equals cost tip. Do number of people. Oh yeah,
yeah.
so that was the
Well,
same.
these are gonna be
My
these
bad.
are
My
gonna be inputs. Go ahead.
computer had died. Yes, you were saying something that was going to take you off track before my computer died. You were somewhat right. You were thinking about getting the inner text, right? But then you started that you wanted to change the placeholder. The placeholder isn't the value. It's not the value that's inside of the input box. It's literally just a placeholder. Like it's like an invisible value in a sense.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So you literally just got to get the value inside of the input box. The clue is that it's not inner text. It's called something different for input boxes. But yeah, that's the direction. That'll work. That'll get you the answer.
This is how I look stuff up online.
Yeah, I see you on DuckDuckGo too, though. I see that.
Oh yeah, you already know it's on.
Hey, I see you there. I see you there. Active element. Document that active element.
The value. The setting value is normally used for input form elements. Oh shoot now. So we using value? We using value? Mm-hmm. Oh, shoot. I think I may get it, people. I think I may get it. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, so this is an object, and then this has a value. What is that, method or property? Yeah, it's property. And then I can change that property. So like, can I do that within the function? All right, let's see. Let's see how freaky we can get. Let me turn this off. Let me get that out of there. Get you out of there. All right, hold on. A. Oh, definitely not A. So it'll be cons. Oh, it's gonna be rough. Let's see. So to retrieve the value, I would use cost dot value. I could store that into some variable. Does not work.
It is cost by value. For some reason, VS Code don't know it. But it's cost
Oh,
by value. It doesn't know that you're targeting the input box. That's probably why it's not showing up in this dropdown. And that can be confusing, but it is the dot value there.
so what's no value? Same thing.
It might be the same thing actually. I never used that before. Yeah, it might be the same thing.
Yep, didn't understand none of that. Oh, yeah, value equals no dot no value. So I can use no value, but it doesn't matter because value still works. Fair enough. Okay, I guess we'll work with this. So now, now, oh shit! Now hold on.
So basically now whatever is calculated by the cost will be treated like would have value executed on it basically.
Now the value just wait. Ask that question one more time.
Whatever is executed by the cost becomes the object. Right? Is that right? And then value is executed on that.
I
Yeah.
turned this to an object. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So cost is an object you get back from document.getElement by ID. And that object has a property called value. And that value tells you what value is inside of the input box. So
Okay, so that's why whatever is put in there, it becomes the object that then has the value executed on it.
right. Well, I mean, when you say executed, it kind of sounds like you're running a function. I would say like it has a value property, and that value property is the value that's inside of the input box.
Okay, now I'm just getting how even with no matter what value that you put in there inside the cost object, right? Then you have the property of value being, I don't want to say executed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. What do I do next, guys? Tell me what to do. Because I don't know what to do. I'm gonna wing it.
Now we had yeah, okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm gonna wing
now
it.
do we have
I don't know what to call
the
it.
object?
What's up?
I'm sorry, I'm talking out loud. My bad.
Please continue talking out loud because I'm digging this. I don't want to be the only one talking out loud. I feel lonely.
Yeah. Side note, talking out loud is like a technique you use to whenever you do interviews. They want you to talk your thoughts out so they can like help you get to the answer. So yeah, talking out loud is a good thing. So yeah.
Now look, now I want to do it. Mute.
There you go. Come on, the teacher approves. Right. So I'm getting this young dig right here, but I want to change that though. Change that. How do I? How do I change it? Usually I would write this stuff down on a piece of paper, exactly what I want to do. And then I would try to code it. So doing it like straight up is bursting my brain open. So we got all it. So look, this is us retrieving the information right here, right? This is us pulling the information from this input, right? This is us calculating whatever we need to calculate, right? Now we need to put that information back into the input, back into the input box, right? So I need to put
Right. So yeah, see, you run the right track. So whatever is then whatever the value is can be affected by the on click and the on what was
the on key up.
Yeah,
the on key up and the on change.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on key up, I'm running this command. On key up, I'm running this command. So I should be returning. Shit, come on. I'm almost there. We almost there, class. We are almost there. Get me there. Help me. Por favor. Por favor. Come in. Oh no. Let's see. This is important. I was on the right track, but it's early in the morning. My brain stopped working. Brain.exe is no longer executing. My computer crashing. We close though. We super duper close. I'm telling you, I know we super duper close. I'm returning my total. So now I gotta paste that somewhere. I gotta put that somewhere. What is my total? Where do I put my total? Where do I show my total? Boy, this thing simplified. Oh, yeesh.
I don't know. I feel like we gotta run a function for whatever that cost that value is to be affected by the on click and on.
Yeah.
It sound right?
No, hold on. Say that one more time.
You said, do we have to run a function or something to whatever?
Literally. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm in.
No. Keep going, because I'm talking out loud, literally.
Keep doing that.
No, I was thinking you got to run a function for the cost dot value, right? Because whatever is returned from that cost dot value object property, right? Then that has to be affected by the on click, right? So if
something happening, and we close to it. Let me see something right quick. Let me see something right goddamn quick. Hold on. Excuse my English. Edit that out. Let me quit. Let me see. Let me see. And I'm probably not, it's probably ugly and improper technique, but for the sake of me not burning my brain up to a crisp, I feel like I gotta do this. So close. So close. I know I'm close. I know we're close. It's just something.
So if we look at the HTML, man, like in the input fields, you have the double zeros, and then you got the tip in the back, you know what I mean? And then you got like, so
yeah.
we like,
what's up?
Now I was trying to figure out. So where are those?
Hmm. I forgot what man meant.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah, that's because I'm using. This isn't a number. Houseway. Houseway. How is this not a number? It's literally defined as number. I'm burnt. Yeah, I'm lost, guys. The ship
Yep.
is sailed. The brain has stopped.
Want me to put one of those?
I got a conclusion.
You're really, really close. I don't think you understand how close you are. And
I know I'm close. I
I
feel the fact that I'm close. It's just for the life of me, I cannot figure out why I can't. I cannot, and that's on. Yeah, I can't just. It's something that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Special. Was it special? I think it was special. Oh no, it was diamond. Go ahead.
I don't even know. Did you refreshed right when you went over there? Because I'm not seeing nothing
Yep.
that's wrong.
I just refreshed. I just hit the refresh.
I don't know what we're missing.
I don't know what's wrong either.
Because cancel log. Maybe we're not logging it in. I don't know. Right.
He even said, "You don't understand how close you are, young blood. That means we super close. That means we right next door to the answer."
Yeah, you didn't say. Don't take nothing out of her hand, please. If that's what you're doing.
I'm gonna keep it in her hand so we get this answer. Mm-hmm. I know I'm pulling a value, right? I want to pull the value of each one of these. Every time it changes, it's gonna constantly load up into here, right? I'm constantly calculating this situation right here, and then I'm returning the value. So that all this look real right to me. Don't nothing about this look wrong. And when I console.log it, I'm getting something that ain't a number. Shit, let's do this. Excuse my English.
Oh, maybe it's the const p equals 1 plus 2. Like maybe it's supposed to be no, that is a good variable. Let me see. Equal const equal cost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh, shoot. Do I have to reload these values in here? Do I have to reload? Do I have to reload the value? I have to change. Ah, shoot. I think we have to reload the values into these gotta reload the values into it doesn't work. My brain. What to do it so bad.
Isaiah, help.
All right, hold on.
All right, it's gonna be some it's gonna be some dot notation or some bullshit like that or something. Like.
It's gonna it is. It definitely is gonna be something real simple. But I do wanna.
I'm gonna give you a tip really quick without giving you the answer. What I would do, right? So if we think about what we're doing, right? As soon as you
Mhm.
load the file, you're firing the function. Like you're console logging calculate tip. That's the only time you do a console log. So even if you press something in those input boxes, you're never going to console log again because you did it, you only fired it one time. So it looks no. You can do it a different way. You can put the console log directly inside of calculate tip. You can just console log total instead of doing it on the outside there. Yeah. So every time you click one of those buttons, it'll console log total for you. And I will console log everything in there. Like I will console log all those variables, console log all of
Yeah.
to see what everything
Bet.
can be.
So we was right around the corner, guys.
Yeah. I think if you console log everything, you're gonna see what you're
That's exactly what I
missing.
wanted to do. That's exactly what I wanted to do. All right, cool. Cool.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
console
do
log
this in order.
cost, tip, number of people, console log P, console log total. And I would do all those console logs like right after you define them. So right under cost, do a console log
Oh,
cost.
cool.
Right under
Yeah,
tip,
that
do a
makes
console
sense.
log tip. Yeah.
Uh, let me just make this a little bit easier for myself, huh? Oh, scroll over to the right. I got a table with tile on it. So it's doing some things. Dun, 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 dun. I'm running things. Okay. Okay, so that ain't gonna show up there, which is cool. Ain't nothing in there. Infinity. Uh-oh. That's because we divide by 0.
Right.
Right. That's 15. We still divide by 0. Okay.
All right. Hold up and explain the infinity part again, guys.
When you divide by 0, it's infinity. It's like a math thing. There's a reason why it's infinity, but you're never supposed to divide by 0, basically. Yeah. It doesn't really make sense to divide by 0. If I go into the explanation, I gotta pull up a graph and everything like that, but it's infinity when you divide by 0. Right. I like how you differentiating that like that. That's good. You can also put a comma in between them and it'll do the same thing as like the plus
Huh.
sign. Yeah.
Cool. I'd rather use a comma. Because the
Mhm.
plus sign, I start getting confused and I start thinking it's math.
Yeah.
Then I start treating it like math and screwing myself up. I don't know how to spell people. And don't get that. And oh, almost made in there. Look at me. Slipping. All right, cool.
And that comma also put a space. It put a space for you. So how you put
Oh,
space? Yeah, that's a one of the convenient things that come with it. So yeah,
would you look at that? So I want a double space. All
right.
right, cool. All right, so tip was the only right one. All right, cool. So now
You gotta
Oh,
refresh. Mhm.
yeah, that makes sense. 100, 15, 2. So what am I logging first? I'm logging calls first. So yeah, this is the new iteration. Yeah, we did it, guys. We did it. But now we got to figure out how to show the split per person. Oh shoot, man. Working console logs inside of the function. Last time I did this, the function didn't fire. I mean, the console log didn't fire. Why would that happen? Like, what will cause that not to happen?
You talking about when you had that one console log?
Yeah, there was a time where I used console log within my function, and it didn't work. Maybe because I didn't invoke the function. Because this HTML is invoked. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, why didn't it work? I have to test that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I would do, something I would do since we're getting close to 12, I'm gonna start giving more hints. If you go back to the browser really quick, go back to if you look in the console, you see 57.4999. It's a whole bunch of nines. What you can do is
Round
right, yeah.
or
And
fix.
yeah, exactly. What what was the method you just
I think it was to fix. I
right?
believe it's to fix.
Yes, to fix, right?
So to be to fix. Yeah.
Yep.
So, oh, duh. Why do it out here when I could just
Right.
do it in there? Okay.
You have to call it. You have to call the to fixed method. You got to pass it a number of decimal places.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah. How many decimal places we want for money? Yep.
10. No, let me quit.
That's cryptocurrency, fam.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A millionth of a Bitcoin. We balling out in the food now. And we're gonna give a 20% tip. We out here. We celebrating. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. That thank you, class. Thank you, teacher. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. Without them, I wouldn't be here. You know, I like to give thanks and honor to God. You know, without him, I wouldn't have been able to type on these keys and stuff. You know, I feel like I'm winning a Grammy right now, man. You know, class, I wouldn't be able to do it without y'all. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so now we have to get this total to show up low key. We still haven't done that. And I feel like it's in here. And I feel like also, because this band is so weird to me. Class red text. I feel like the value. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Can I do it within this function? No, I'm not gonna do it within this function. Can I do it within this function?
You can do it there. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go. Ooh wee. Here we go. Calculated tip?
No.
No. Because I was gonna go calculated tip or constant calculated tip equals total or to fixed total. Oh no. Calculated. Basically, I was gonna try to see if I could change the inner text of this span right here.
Right.
So use the inner text
Yep.
method on this span, on this pay span.
Right.
But first I would have to call the document. So I would probably go cons pay
Mhm.
equals document, get all that stuff that I need right there. Boom, hit that right there, pay, then dot value. Nope, because I ain't doing all that. Nope, I don't want to do that yet. Then pay dot enter text equals all this good stuff right here, all that good stuff right there. Boom, and it should be that. Boom, say that. Let's come on, big money, no whammies, no whammies. Once again, we balling out. $1,000 bill, 2 people. Let's freaking go. All right, we're good. We're good. We did it, guys. You all are awesome. Yep,
That's good.
that's y'all.
Go back to the code.
Yeah, it's just-
Dang, Jay, you got that. See, I couldn't
no,
have
y'all
I
got
shouldn't have, I couldn't have shared my screen. Dang, man, you got that. Yeah, good job.
You seen how many hints we had to get? Hey, we still did it though. So not just me.
how do we
but
prevent
us.
infinity from showing up?
I could go if divided by 0, then input 0 or something like that. I use the if loop or
Right.
if statement.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you can throw that in there, since we still got 15. See if we can throw that if statement.
Ooh, wee baby. Hold on. All right. So okay. So this is what I'm showing anyway. So yeah, I do it inside the function. If total, yeah, I can just do total. I don't have to do all that pretty stuff. If total equals total equals infinity, yeah, because it could be any number, or
Doesn't it have to
it's
be a
never going to be
greater or
less
less
than
than
1.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, less than 0. If it's less than, oh no, because infinity is neither less than 0 or it's not less than 0. It's greater than 0 by infinite amount. So
When do we get infinity? Like let's take it back to the root cause. Why?
divide by 0.
Right. Exactly. So you can just check that.
If I was going to say if cost tip or number of people is 0, then
Yep. Even better. Yep.
yeah, if cost equals 0. Oh shoot, which one's my and, guys? Is that and or is shoot? Which one's and?
Hold on.
I think I'm gonna put that in there for now and change it if it's wrong.
Was it the double and sign?
Oh, thank you, because you smart. That's why. Me, on the other hand, I'm old for getting a double ampersand. Out here tripping. Let's see, cost tip or number. Or number of people equals 0. Opening brackets, curly brackets. If any of that equals 0, then I'm going to return. Okay, yeah, I can still do return. I know, yeah, okay, yeah, I can still do return. Then I'm going to return. What I'm going to return? Blank. So we can do text. Return blank. You don't have to do nothing. Oh, and the funny part about it, I could just do else I don't have to do the else, but I'm just gonna do it for good practice. Else. Work for me. Work for me now. Else, do all that. Format, just to make it look pretty. Now, where am I? Oh no, I don't have to return. I don't have to return this. Why am I not? No, what you saying? Remove unreachable. Oh, you can't reach it. Why can't you reach it? Uh-oh. Why is this unreachable?
If there's some syntax errors in there.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure. What's the syntax there, guys? Somebody help me. Damelo. No.
Const.
Are you dummy?
Oh, that's cost. Never mind. Let's see here.
Let me put that back. Uh-oh. Okay. Syntax errors. Let's go. Else. If those exist at the same time, then we returning some blanks. Return. Yeah, I'm gonna return blank. I think that'd be better. We just call it 0. And I wouldn't use or, and I'm actually gonna use or because all of these doesn't have to be 0 at the same time. Okay, so now let's get to the syntax that I bested up here. What about doing? Oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing me.
Yeah, I'm glad you changed that to or because those ands would have definitely not have
Worked.
worked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the syntax
Okay.
error is inside of the if statement. So it's that condition. You put cost equals 0, right? But that's not how you compare. That's how you assign. You assign with one equal sign. No. You don't get rid of that value.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, I don't. It could be any 0. It could be a string too.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the double. Yeah, you're saying you're checking my value and you're just checking the value, not the type. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it could be a string 0 too. It could, as long as
That's
it's
actually what I was looking up. Like it doesn't matter how many comparison operators you have inside that that if else statement, right?
Yeah. It don't matter. However many you wanna do.
All right.
nest an infinite amount.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the only syntax error. What? I'm telling you, man.
You don't need a return. You don't need a return value at all. You can just, I don't know, you can just put like console log, nothing entered or whatever. You don't even have to put anything in there, to be honest. You can just leave it empty.
So how would I just leave it empty?
You
Just blank?
delete. Yeah.
Oh, you said just delete. Oh,
Yeah. Ideally, you would just have one condition. You would say, instead of saying if cost equals 0, you could say if cost does not equal 0. And then you can use the ands. But I mean, I want you to try it this way. I think this will work first. I don't want to mess up what you have so far. But
all right, cool.
but what you would have will work. But it's just extra code you don't have to write.
Oh, so what? So how can I return? Just leave it. I could leave it blank like this.
Yeah, you can leave it blank, or if you really want to put something in there, you can just write return and then just put semicolon. You don't have to return anything at all. Just put a semicolon at the end. Yeah. No, you put a colon. No.
Oh, I'm tripping.
Right. Yeah.
Return semicolon.
Right.
Cool. Show projects. 15. Nothing. Cool. 15. 15.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that number off the top of my head, but yeah, it looks like it's working as expected.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah.
I go back to the easy one.
Yeah, and let me if you can go back to your JavaScript whenever you're done testing, I'm gonna request control, and I'll write in an easier way to do this.
Done.
All right, cool. So you can say, let's see, why is it not? Okay. So you say if cost does not equal 0 and tip does not equal 0, space in there, and number of people does not equal 0.
Then I can run my, yep.
Right. Put that there and just delete it from here. Don't need none of that. Or this.
Yeah, that go back.
I'll give you back control.
Drop the mic. I'm out.
So that'll work the same. But yeah, so
That
we
makes sense.
got it. Oh, test it out. Test it out really quick just to be sure.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I definitely make mistakes.
I was following. That looked cool. Just to be. Look, still nothing. Still, hold on, let's go down. Okay, cool. And then 2 people. Yep. There we go.
Does the arrows work and everything? If you press those up arrows and down arrows, like they
1,150.
okay, so there's a bug here, but it's
It
fine.
doesn't do anything. So yeah, I think I would rather return 0 then, or return like
right.
yeah, I would probably return blank.
Yeah, that'll probably work. And then you can even check to make sure none of those numbers are negative. Also, if you really wanted to make it like solid. But instead of putting return, you can just do like you can copy everything inside of the if statement, paste it inside of the else, and then set pay.inner text equals 0.
It says it, yep.
Right.
0, easy with the dinero.
Right.
Yeah. All right, cool. And then yeah, you would check for negative numbers. But
right.
see, can you even stop negative numbers from being input into your input box, or would that be much more difficult?
No, I feel like there should be like an attribute to prevent negative numbers. Let me see if I can find something. Input attribute prevent negative numbers.
Sure, I'm just waiting on you.
Yeah, so you can do min equals 0. There's an attribute you can put on there. I'm gonna put it in the chat. You can put them. You can put all.
I can put on an I can put it on the input, input box.
Right. Yeah, you
cool.
can put it in the attribute min equals 0.
0.
Yeah. I didn't test it. I just saw it. I just saw somebody wrote it online. So, but it says that it's the correct answer on here. So, yeah.
And let me make sure I didn't screw that up. Okay. All right, cool. That's the same thing. Hide floating meeting control. Okay, yeah. We hit boom. We're gonna say that. We're gonna say that. We're gonna come back over here. We're gonna refresh that. We're gonna hit that button. We're gonna scroll down. Would you look at that?
What happens when you try to type in a negative number? Like if you press like on from your keyboard. Yeah, so it's
still.
So it's just little things like that when you build in an app, you just gotta check for all those edge cases. And normally, like on a job, you have a testing team to do this for you. Like when you're making the app, your mind is like set on making it work. But the testers, they know how to break stuff. They know how to do all of these tricks and stuff to make sure the stuff the user input is not going to break the app. So, but it is always a
Yeah.
good practice to just try to break it yourself also. So
That's fine. I may wanna do one of them jobs.
yeah,
Breaking
testing is a
apps.
whole nother mindset. It's like, let me try to break this. Like it's a
Yeah.
whole complete different job title and everything. So
Oh shoot.
it's still
That's
develop. I mean,
outstanding.
it's still development, but like
Hmm.
testing to me.
So then, I guess I guess it would be if negative. So if less than 1, then I could return. Okay, hold on. Let me see something right quick because I could.
You can just add to those conditions on line 13. Right now we got if none of them equals 0, and then you can put also and cost is greater than 0, and tip is greater than 0, and number of people is greater than 0.
Yeah.
You can
Okay.
add 3 more
But
conditions.
I was gonna keep it from even being inputted into the box. So if it was less than 0, then I was just gonna have the what the input box basically input 0 back in there, right? So I would change the value. I would change the value. So if the number was less than 0, I would change the value to 0. Sounds saying? Or
Yeah,
I would just multiply it by -1 and then change the value to a positive number.
Mhm.
Or something like that.
There's a lot of different ways we can handle it, and sometimes another way to handle it is if you do see a negative number, you show an error message like cannot enter
Mm.
negative numbers or something like that. Like
Yeah, see.
there's a bunch of different ways you can handle it, but most of the time, like when you're building the app, the people that decide how that works is the UX team, the user experience. Like those are the people that their job is to make sure that the app is easy to use. Like there's a bunch of different um, job titles that lead up to an app, and UI, UX, user interface, user experience. Those are the ones that tell you how to handle stuff like this. So
Mm. No
yeah,
wonder
but
they say it takes.
yeah, it is 12. This implementation, the way we did it here is actually much more concise than how I did it in the course. So it's good that y'all took some time to do this, and it's a better way of doing it, to be honest. So um so on Tuesday, what we're gonna do is something similar. We'll start and finish another project. We'll do the same for project number 1 because we technically skipped that one. And if some of y'all already saw the video, then it'll be easier to do. So that is final project number 1. And if you're wondering where you're supposed to be in the course, I mean, you can just keep going from wherever you are. If you haven't already watched the um the tip calculator, you can watch those videos. And next Sunday we're going to start on the something the color psychology one. That's project number 4. So um, you can get to project number 4 and stop, or you can keep going. It's up to you. So yeah.
Ooh. I thought I watched all tip calculator stuff. I guess not.
Yeah. All right. So if there's no question, I'll stay on if there's any questions. If not, then I'll see everyone on Tuesday. Y'all did a good job with this too. So yeah.
So you said we're gonna start project 4 on Tuesday, or we gotta do it before Tuesday.
On Tuesday we're gonna do project 1 because we
I mean,
technically
not project 4,
yeah.
color psychology.
The color psychology we're gonna do that on Sunday, next Sunday. Well, the
Oh,
Sunday, yeah.
so what we have to do before Tuesday?
Before Tuesday, you don't really have to watch any more stuff. What I would, if you didn't already watch the tip calculator, I would watch the tip calculator videos,
Okay.
just to get up to speed with that. And then on
Oh,
Sunday we can do color psychology. That one's going to be fast, to be honest. And we may even start password generator on Sunday also. So, and that's project number 5. we'll see. We'll see how far we get. So,
Okay, thank you.
yeah. Any questions from anyone?
Just got one last question. As we complete these, are we just supposed to be uploading these to our homework or like?
Yeah, you can upload it to the drive. And that's really just for me to know that, okay, like you're actually like doing these projects, or you can like ask me, hey, like how can I make this code more concise? And we can go over it like maybe before class or during class, so I can show you how to make it look cleaner or something like that.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Peace, man.
All right, see you.
So with the we're calling a function from another JavaScript file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can we do that? Can we like quick go over that?
Yeah.
Because when I was trying to do that with the clock. I wanted to call my add zero function from a utility.js because I'm pretty much using, oh no, the less than 10 add the zero. So,
Mhm.
I could have just kept adding zero, keep using the add zero in my function without having to necessarily call it. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I probably could look at this and just figure it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you can just drop the function directly in the util, and then you should have access to it. But you got to make sure. I saw earlier you were talking about that, but I only saw one script tag. I didn't see a script tag for the util. I only saw it for like the one.
So I put the script tag in there, and it still wasn't working. So I aborted like hardcore. I just said forget it. Put the add zero back in there.
Make sure the
Got it
util.
done.
Make sure it's the first script tag. You see how this one is before the other ones on line 31. So the order matters.
So I did. Yeah, I made sure it was at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, but you was telling me I was using it in the head tag and not the body tag. Yeah, I was using it under the head instead of the body. Okay, no, so that's probably why I screwed up at. So when I invoke the function within my secondary JS file, my JavaScript file, like how do I invoke it again?
You
I was
just call it. It'll know exactly where it comes from. Yeah.
Shit. So
Yeah.
so I could just go.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna switch the topic a little, but no, I'm gonna let you finish your thought. You can.
Oh no. You pretty much answered it. So yeah, I just invoked the function as normal.
Right.
As per normal.
Right. And that brings up a point. Like you see how we have get by ID here. If you was to define that same function with the exact same name somewhere else, you're gonna get an error. So you got to make sure all of these functions have unique names, and it gets kind of tedious. It gets kind of hard to do that. Well, you see, we got all these JavaScript files. We got to make sure none of those functions have the same names, and all those variables got to have different names too. But it'll tell you something if you kind of conflict with something. So. This is basically the example I was talking about when I was like, yeah, like when you write const, it don't allow you to reassign it, and then you can have like thousands of lines of code. Like this represents thousands of lines of code when you have JavaScript in a whole bunch of different files. Like when you add all that stuff up, that's when it gets like really, really long, and that's when like having them have unique names matters. So one of the reasons why we don't use the var keyword again. So.
And the reason I'm using my constant, I'm using const right here, is because I'm not going to change the amount. Like I'm not going to change this.
Right.
Yeah.
Within that, right. Exactly. You're not.
Within this function.
Yeah. And earlier you made a comment when you wrote that dot value, you were saying that may not be like the most cleanest way to write it. Like it is, it is clean to write it that way. You could definitely do that. feel like it was one more thing. And one more room for improvement here. You see how you got on line 14 and 15, like even like you put pay inside of a variable before you set it in the text. But you don't even have to put that into a variable. You can just straight do document.get element by ID. And then after that, do the dot inner text equals something.
See, so I thought it was cleaner to do it this way.
You could do it that way. And it's more readable if you do it this way. But
Okay.
like this way is fine. Like either way, I'm just saying like you could do it either way. But if you already knew that, then yeah. But
Okay, yeah. No,
Yeah.
the reason I did it this way is because I thought that, you know, it was going to be cleaner looking, because then I would have a document.get element by ID dot enter text equals total to fix, and then it'd be all the way over here. Like then I have to scroll right and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's good that you thinking about that too, because that does matter also. Like how long a line is and where it starts to be like harder to read. So yeah. Yeah, how you got it is good.
yeah, I'm trying, man. You know, I'm out here trying to get it like you, man. If I can get on half your level, I'll be good. Cause yeah, right now I'm still a noob.
Yeah, y'all gonna be good at this. I think doing these like these things where I let y'all like write it, I feel like that's really what's gonna really help y'all out. Because like if you was to write this over again, it's gonna take you a lot. You're gonna do this in a lot quicker time. Like you're not gonna spend like will we spend like an hour and a half on this? Like the next time you
Mhm.
write this up by yourself, you're gonna spend like maybe like 10 minutes, maybe 20. So like writing this stuff out is going to help you like uh, in the long run.
I appreciate you, Teach, but I believe you overestimate me. This still gonna take me an hour and a half because I'm gonna forget some type of semicolon or forget
Yeah.
the syntax for freaking
Mhm.
something and be out here speaking Spanish in the English class. I'm telling you, just my gosh.
Well, either way, it's going to be quicker than it's going to be quicker. It's gonna be
My point still stands, young man.
quicker. So, yeah.
All right, cool. I'm in so okay, another question then. And sorry if I'm taking up all the questions, people. If y'all got something, then shut me up, because you know I'm gonna keep going. With these console.logs within my function right here,
Mhm.
if I put console.log within the function, it's actually going to activate console.log. So it's gonna log something to the console if I call the function, or even because I'm not invoking a function. I'm just setting the function or setting the equation to this function. I'm setting this anonymous function equal to this constant right here. I'm not necessarily invoking my function.
Right.
So
So what's invoking it is those event handlers in it,
mm,
you know, that's
yeah,
what's
yeah.
yeah. So that's why that function is fired. Was that your question? Like,
Yeah, actually, yes.
mhm.
So if I did not have these event handlers and it was just this, it would do nothing but
Right.
log these to the function, log these to the console.
It wouldn't do anything at all. Like the event handlers
Yep,
is in
that's my Mac.
HTML. It wouldn't even fire it because you never fired it. The HTML
Damn,
fires it whenever you do those events,
activated. Yep,
those on
let's
chain,
freaking go.
on key up.
Okay. And so if I was to take out my event handlers, then I would have to invoke the function in order to get that mug to
Right. You would have to
I
fire
would
it.
console log it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I would console log this, then I'd be invoking the function or firing the function, and then I would see something happen.
Yeah, but only one time because you only called it once. So
Right. So I would have to set interview.
you could do set
Okay.
interval and that will work technically. Like you keeps calling this function every second and just keep updating every second.
That'll burn a computer up though, I'm pretty sure.
Right, exactly.
Burn that CPU clean up.
Yeah, yep.
So
Just
this is
constantly.
the Mhm. Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Only thing is,
Right.
like, those are the type of things, like, depending on the situation, sometimes you do use that set interval to check something over and over again. You see that, like, you see that mostly in backend code, where they're just like checking something over and over. But like you said, like, it's gonna burn the CPU. It's not good because it's a process that's continuously running, and that's on top of everything else that's running. Like, all of
Mhm.
those events, those are like set interval. Like, it's constantly checking to see what you're doing on your computer. So now you're just adding to the list. Now it may not be significant if you do it, it may not be noticeable, but depending on like how many you add in there and like how often you check, like, it can start to slow down like a website and like slow down the computer. So
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I think yeah, that was the question because I was trying to do this within the function when I was doing my timeout, but it, like you said, it only fired it once, and I'm like, why is it not doing it? Then I was like, oh, okay, I gotta set interval, but then I
right.
had the syntax error with the set interval, so everything else was right. Then
Mhm.
well, shoot, I was up late too, so like I said, brain.exe just failed on me. That bad boy crashed. Mm, okay. All right, I think I'm good. If anybody else got some questions, I'm gonna shut up now. Dang, why you keep on asking questions? Oh my gosh. That's what's up. You said you had some questions on it too.
Anybody else had any questions before we end it?
Yeah, Isaiah.
Yeah.
The class on Udemy. What part we supposed to be on by Tuesday?
By Tuesday, you just had to at least look at get up to the tip calculator. If you get up to the tip calculator, you'll be fine because we're gonna be working on project 1, the one that we skipped. We went straight to project 2, and today was project 3. So we're gonna go back to project 1 so we can hurry up and get that out of the way. We didn't actually do it in class.
All right, so by Tuesday, then we can
Yeah.
still be on we'll be on section like 5, right? Section 4 or 5.
I'm not sure which section, but the tip final project 3, if you watched all the way until final project 3, you should be good. So, but on Sunday, we probably going to do 2 projects that day. We're probably going to do project 4 and 5.
All right, so 4 and 5. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I needed.
Any other questions? Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, I'll see everyone on Tuesday and I'll just end it. All right. I'll see everyone Tuesday. Bye.
Catch you later.
See you.